Cause of my Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps.
I wear
Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps.
I wear
Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps. Cause I still don't know how to inflate my dumps. Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps.
I wear
Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps.
My name is Koos from den Akker, which is a Dutch name. I'm from Holland. I was in Paris first. I learned my trade at Christian Dior, 1960 till 1965. Then I went back to Holland and had my own store in The Hague, where I was born. But you know, Holland was not set up for fashion. It was totally ridiculous. I mean, I came with all those Dior fantasies and all those women that, you know, were like cows there. All they wanted was a skirt with extra pieces in front of the skirt so that the knees wouldn't wear out too fast, you know, that kind of stuff. This was 1960. And so I always wanted to come to this country ever since I saw Breakfast at Tiffany's. I've been in this country since 1968 and made a career here, 40 years, and never looked back. This is my workroom, and this is the people I work with. Beatrice is here. Beatrice has been with me for 28 years, 28, 29. Yeah.
Right there, 29.
Amazing, huh? This is Javier, and Javier works with the customers. So when there is stuff to be done in the store for those women, Javier is the one that likes to do that. So he fusses with those women and is good with it too. Part of my legacy in this business is making the Bill Cosby sweater. The ones that I made for Bill Cosby and the ones that I made in that period were all one-of-a-kind sweaters. See, this is a typical Cosby sweater. So this is a basic, the base is a jersey, so it's stretchy, and then usually I use woolens and jerseys together and make this kind of arrangement. And in those days, in the early 80s, it was very much of patterns of different. Now you have to realize when you look at this now, it's familiar because all the fashion today is like that. When I did this, there was nothing like that around. So people were just freaked out. They said, "What the fuck is that?"
Are these sweaters that he wore on the show, or these are...
Those were the Cosby sweaters, yeah, that I got back for this occasion. This is a very thin line between absolutely awful and something of genius. I mean, somebody can look at it and say, "What the fuck is this? This is the most horrible thing I've ever seen." And, you know, somebody else says it's inspiration. All this collaging, all this graphic stuff that I do, painting with fabrics, was exceptional here, but in Holland it was everywhere. So I was really the guy. I was totally original. When I did it then, people really couldn't figure out, was this home sewing or was this genius? And they didn't go for genius, believe me, they went for home sewing.
my sweater, cause the elbow's leather, and it's pink and green and orange and brown and blue.
I had a friend, a black actress called Josephine Permis, and she was a good customer. And she was a friend of Bill Cosby. And so one day she came to me and she said, "Listen, I have to have a present for Bill. Would you make him something, a sweater or something?" And I said, "Sure." And so she went to see him and gave him the sweater. And he liked it very much. So he went on the set with the sweater on. Well, that episode got so many letters apparently asking, "Where did you get this sweater? What the hell was that?" and all that. That he called and he said, "Listen, you know, this is a big success. Would you make me more?" And I said, "Absolutely, sure, why not?" And so that was it. And all of a sudden there they were on TV, and it was a kick and it was totally fun. And then I got to know him, of course. And Bill Cosby was just a delightful man who very much appreciated my work and the way I worked, and supported it. And that's basically the story. And I was very thankful for that. you know, fabrics is never important to me what it costs. I mean, I can work with $2 a yard fabric. I can work with $50 a yard fabric. I prefer the $2 a yard fabric. Here, this is my table, and it's an enormous mess right now. So this is a paper pattern of a skirt. I pick a primary fabric, which will be this one. And so I will cut a skirt out of that. And then when I have that flat, then I think, well, what would work with this? Nothing is by chance. I mean, you compose it. There's no reason why this is here and not there, of course. I mean, this is just, to my eye, this looks good. And so then you press it down, you pin it down, and then you make the whole thing. And that's basically the process of it. It's painting. It's painting with fabrics. It's making pictures one after another and just happen to be close. And that's it. I never cared about, is it washable? Can you clean it? Oh, couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. Never was a problem with me. No, didn't care. I have a new thing now with the ribbons that look like Arabic writing, and I think it's very beautiful. And it looks like, again, those countries where we have trouble with, you know, where everything is beautiful, really. There's nothing more beautiful than that. Here is a man who is totally comfortable in his clothes, in his skin, practical, and how absolutely beautiful. But everything in this book is things I wish I could put it together as beautiful. Look, everything is with great dignity, beautiful, beautiful. This to me is fashion. This is my inspiration. When you talk about collaging, this is collage. This is totally beauty. This is pure beauty. That is just the best. I did a masterclass in San Francisco at the Academy of Art College. And all those kids looked so hot with all the tattoos and all that. And so one day I thought, well, if I don't do it now, I'll never do it. I called a friend and I said, listen, I want a tattoo by tonight. So we went to the Chinatown and he talked to some old Chinese gentleman and asked him because I wanted it to say new beginnings. So he asked the old man to write down new beginnings in Chinese, and he wrote it down. Then with a piece of paper we went to a tattoo parlor, and I said I want it looked like a piece of fabric, like a swatch with polka dots, and I want that on it. And of course, needless to say, the next day when I got in school, I was the guy, I was the man. I was totally like, oh shit, this is cool. And of course it was. I mean, you know, 70-year-old man that all of a sudden has a tattoo. It's nice. In San Francisco, I had a big classroom that was mine. So I photographed the walls here as they are, and the photo department in that school, it's a very fancy school, had it all done exactly the same size as the walls in the school. So my area in the school was exactly like this, except everything was photos. This was all photos. You couldn't take these glasses, it was all photo. And then there were all the other tables where the kids were working and 8 machines where they were working on. So I was in my own workroom. It's still there because I go back there in July and I go back to my room. Fashion and the fashion world, I couldn't care less. It's so overrated and silly and all that. It's not my life, never was. I like to put fabrics together. So if I could make pillows for the rest of my life, I probably would. I love sewing, you know. I don't consider myself a designer and all that shit. I'm not. If I had become famous by doing couches and walls, I would have never made a dress. I don't like women. I don't like working with them. I don't fuss with women at all. That's why I'm never in the store. I don't like, you know, they need more a psychiatrist than they need, you know, a designer. That doesn't help when you need PR, when you need, you know, you say you don't really like women, well, hey, then you're not in the right corner.
I look fresh, I look fly, and all the ladies love me, know why? 'Cause of my
Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps.
I wear
Bill Cosby sweater and Reebok pumps.
This is a great guy in San Francisco called Bullwinkle, and we exchange clothes for artworks. This is me in 1981, and then this is me 2 years ago. That's happened to be a nice photo, but I mean the contrast is pretty shocking. This one's nice. That was in a show in Houston, Texas. I had done the screen, and I was probably about 45 years old there. Those were dear friends of mine who died. They all died. So many people that are gone, but that's just part of life, right? Those were my cats, and I had two, this one and that one, and they became very old, and they died on the top of fabrics and all that. It just got, the doctor came here, gave them a little thing, and the nice thing is that he died on a piece of brocade. He didn't even know, he never even opened his eyes. He got a shot, and that was the end of that. And they took him away, and I made a beautiful jacket out of it, and the woman that wore that jacket never knew that some cat had died right on top of it. It's horrible to look at yourself in the mirror and see this old guy. Inside, I'm nothing older than you. How old are you?
29.
Yeah, nice. I'm nothing older than that, and then yet I am. I used to wear my own clothes when I was younger. Now it doesn't really matter anymore. I'm comfortable in just what I wear now. Yeah, it's a rich life, you know. It's a rich career. If I drop that tomorrow, I've really done it all. I've made a lot of people happy. I've been with lots of young people, showed them the way, very nice, and enjoyed it. Made my own families with people that were with me. The ladies in the other room, one of them is 28 years with me. You know, it's family stuff. It's just family, and you just, it's rich. Totally rich.